Hello, everybody. How you doing? Um, there was a slight misunderstanding. You guys thought I was having that dot laser thing done, I guess, this past week, but I'm not having it done until Monday. So I might be off for a couple of days, but I don't mind coming on with my face all weird because that way you can see the progress. You can see if it was worth it. It's just a laser. It's like Fraxel, but it's not Fraxel. It's just a laser. It's resurfacing. Okay, so let's get this party started. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Linda G. I'm a registered Comanche Indian native. I have this gift I got after breast cancer. I mean, I had a gift before, but it really went overboard with breast cancer to where my guide was telling me to do a YouTube channel. And I said, no, I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And they said, you will help calm people down. So thus I began. A lot of people write me, and I don't think they've realized I've been on since 2018, and tell me about certain psychics that I already know of, like, oh, you need to watch Rosie. And it's like, oh, yeah, Rosie and she's my backup girl. I know Rosie. Or you need to watch so-and-so. So just remember, if you could maybe even to say their name on my list of videos, you might find that I've already done a video with them. So I try to introduce as many people as I can. Okay. And what else did I want to tell you? Oh, for my members, be sure to look at the community page. I had to reschedule my dates for September for our 3-card and our pick-a-card because I'll be leaving the last week of September to Chicago. And our Chicago event is sold out. Thank you to everyone. I'm looking forward. So, okay. So this is being taped, and sometimes I like tape better because sometimes when you're live, there's too many people talking. So are you guys watching the DNC? Well, I tape it on C-SPAN so I can fast forward anybody I don't want to listen to. And listen, they got the music going. You know what I'm saying? They got some Chaka Khan in there. And they got, I guess tonight, I think they're going to do some, in honor of Minnesota, they're going to do some Prince. So that should be nice. Everybody loves a good Prince song. But I'll tell you what, I actually stood up and started dancing. Sorry, I had a little interruption. My dog Squeaky Balls arrived. The place that sells them delivers them to me because I always had such a big order. I spend so much money on these dogs, you guys, but they love their Squeaky Balls. I better not say that word out loud. As soon as they hear that word, you know, they come running. But yeah, that DNC, I can't believe it, man. The music was great. They had my Chaka Khan, I Feel For You. So needless to say, I was like, this girl got up. You know what I'm saying? We was dancing. So this was great. But Jesus, as soon as Michelle got done, I'm getting tons of text messages. Please give. As soon as Obama got done, I'm tons of text messages. It's like, what? I'm getting overwhelmed with text messages. And you know, I give monthly to Tester. I like to give to wherever they're at, like the president, I gave to him via where he's at. I know you go through ActBlue. I think ActBlue puts it all in one pot and distributes it accordingly. I don't know. I don't know about this, but eventually they're going to have it so where you don't have to pay so much to get people in. I think people with less money are going to make just your vote is your money, you guys. Okay. So yeah, we're doing this. You know what I'm saying? And the energy is so fantastic. We are doing this. And I love this Walls guy. I loved how he cried through the whole speech of people up on the stage. It was wonderful. Kamala, she's sort of grounded. You know, she's emotional, but she ain't as emotional as him. So, okay. The big news today is that Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to step down. And I guess he's throwing his hat into Donald Trump because he asked the Kamala organization and they wouldn't get back to him. He offered his services to them. Put him in the cabinet and he'll step down and say, vote for the Democratic ticket. But Donald Trump must have agreed. But you know, if he trusts Trump, Donald Trump is, yeah, sure. What can I give you? Not going to happen. Okay, so Kennedy's stepping out. Let's see if it actually makes any difference to him. Let's see. And a lot of people are mad at Nancy Pelosi. She's a politician, you guys, and I'm sorry about that. I'm not necessarily a big fan of hers because she stabbed, but everybody will put up with her because of who she is. You can't say F you and walk away because she could try to cause some damage. Remember, she was against Kamala running for the DA. She had someone else she wanted, and that person didn't win. Kamala won. But she didn't act like Kamala was terrible. She just was like, she's a fighter. She knows what she's doing. So, okay. But I don't trust Pelosi. I feel bad about her husband getting hurt. I think it's just time for her to go. Tell me what I can tell everybody about Robert Kennedy stepping down. I need to call. Maybe I could Friday. I'd do some with Andre. Andre can look at his chart. I know his chart was no good. Angel of Mercy, please tell me what happens with JFK. Well, he's reversed and he's crossed with the Ten of Swords. So even though he thinks, ta-da, in his higher consciousness, he thinks that, yeah, we can group this, we can make this happen. The outcome is not happening. Trump is going to lose. As sure as I'm sitting here, if I had a nervous aspect in my soul energy, I would tell you. I would tell you, you guys, you know, I don't know, but I really feel good that Trump is going to lose. Jesus. You know, Kennedy, I've often thought Trump was going to, or maybe this is even Trump not feeling good, looking at it almost, I don't know if it's Robert Kennedy or Trump, but somebody may be looking at the coffin. Somebody may be kind of going downhill sooner than later. Somebody might be gone before this time next year. But they're acting like they're going to do a partnership. I even see him having Kennedy talk at one of his events. But did you hear that Melania is going to come out and talk on behalf of Trump, like how dirty the DNC is doing with her husband? It's like, where were you during the Republican convention? Melania, she gets paid. And listen, they just released, now that he's an adult, Barron is an adult, they can tell what he's been telling people. And apparently he let everybody know that his mom and dad were separate for 2 years. They weren't even together when Trump decided to run, and then they went to the table and come up with some cash amount and the check cleared. But yeah, she's doing this because she's getting paid to do it. Every time she speaks, she gets paid to do it. Well, I feel like it's a nothing burger, but I'll throw just in case, but I feel like it's a nothing burger. Yeah, it's a nothing burger. We still are moving forward. And listen, the numbers, you know, there's so many numbers coming out, but I'm telling you, she's like 20 points ahead of him. And they're losing big time, except maybe one place, I can't remember where, because it's a Trump judge, but they're losing in all these things they're trying to screw with the votes. And Miller, why doesn't the Democratic convention mention that that their president was almost assassinated. It's like, dude, he's not even our president. He's an ex-president. He's not going to win, you guys. He's not going to win. So she's going to cash the check and move forward. She will be looking for a road out. There's a lot of stuff coming up. After he loses, there's a lot of stuff coming up. I think Trump is getting ready to get sick, you guys. So we've said this, we've put it out there. I hope it's not just me wanting so bad for him to run because I want him to lose so badly. It will be a beautiful thing. And for him to lose against a Democrat who's a Black woman. And, when did she turn Black? He's just ridiculous. What else did he say? He did something on his Truth Liars. He said some big fat lie. And everybody's asking me about Taylor Swift. God love her. I like her, but I don't know any of her music. I even told my friend, I would know the Taylor Swift music than the Man in the Moon. The young kids love her. That's all that matters. And they're listening to her and she's a good person. But I mean, please don't hate me because I don't know what her music is, because I'm an old fart, you know? And she just got back from London, and I don't know about Beyonce and or her being at the DNC. There was a rumor, but it's just a rumor. But I do see her coming out for Biden, and I see her really reaming into Trump for doing that fake thing about her saying, vote for Trump. You know, guess who uses AI to do fraud? He does. So, and that JD Vance, nobody's coming to see him. I don't know if you guys saw the recent thing in Wisconsin or something. Just a few, it was pathetic. I would be just embarrassed to even show my face. Okay, so, and then everybody's complaining that we were too happy during our DNC event. Okay, they don't like us if we're coming or going. But that's Steve Miller. Remember, I told you I saw the demon around the, what I see, I think even Putin's in on it. What I was seeing is someone sitting behind closed doors trying to plan something to hurt, like attack the DNC convention. But I see that there's so much military and police in there taking care of business, they can't get through. But I could see someone trying to make plans to do something, and they're catching them left and right. They're not announcing it out loud, but at one point they'll talk about all these people they ended up arresting. So Denise says, is the turnout support for the VP, Kamala Harris, and the Democratic Party expected? Yeah, but it's way bigger. It's way bigger. I often said years ago, okay, I told you that Biden would pass the baton and she would be the first female president of the United States. I probably said this, what, 3 or 4 years ago. But I always saw a landslide win, and it wasn't when Biden ran against Trump, although it was a good win. It was still close enough that he could complain. But I always saw a landslide win, big one. And that's going to be this one. There are so many people coming out. Actually, what I'm seeing is an awakening. So it's like, oh, hell no. And it's so huge that even Kamala can't, she is surprised. She didn't realize it was going to be this big. They are just rocking. They're like, holy cow. I mean, they're packing them in. And Walsh is just a sweetheart. I just love him. He's the type of person you would trust your dog with, you know. Hillary, Sid said Hillary endorsed, wasn't Hillary Clinton's speech fantastic? That woman's the smartest woman. I'm so sorry it wasn't for her to win. for some reason, psychically, I've received the message that we were supposed to go through this Trump guy, okay? To let us see how ugly it can be. And he's like a dog with a bone. He won't let go. He won't let go. He won't stop complaining like President Obama said. But Hillary endorsed Kamala immediately after Joe did. How did Hillary feel about Nancy not wanting Kamala as the candidate? Let me tell you the rumor, and I'm not sure if this is correct, although she's acting 100% on board, for sure. I don't know what the riff might have been between them, but they sure act buddy-buddy now because she's pretty powerful, so. But I was feeling that, well, Nancy, I heard that Nancy asked Biden if he was going to replace her as vice president when he runs for this session. And he said, absolutely not. Some people were writing me saying, who is Biden going to replace? Who's going to be his new VP? I was like, what? He's still got to come up. But for some reason, they were thinking she wouldn't be strong enough. I don't know, but she's blown them out of the water, you guys. And maybe they have reason or justification to think that she's not all up in there, but she will do a fantastic job. Once she's on board, she's going to work hard. She's going to work really hard. Hillary just is, if you heard Hillary's speech, Google it on YouTube or whatever, asked, for Hillary Clinton's speech at DNC. It was fantastic. Boy, that Hillary can sure give a good speech. She's fantastic. And Michelle Obama. Oh. Hello. And then the President Obama. Why is he always worried about crowd size? And he was doing that. I said, no, you got to go to the mushroom side. Okay. And the roll call was fantastic. Now, there was one person that was absent and another one was present. So somebody asked me, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I have no idea. I should have looked it up before I came on here. In rural America, people really do love Walz. This is from Zelina. They will vote for him even if they don't like Harris. Whoa, I've heard this. Will Walz bridge the gap between rural America and DC and bring those issues? Yes, he will. And let me tell you something. I got this hit. The middle class is really going to do good, and rural America is going to be able to have an income that they can really make a good living. Opportunity comes from rural America. I think a lot because of Walz. And he wants the farmers to be okay. And do you know, my guys just said to me, there's a lot of people that were saying they would vote for Trump that are not planning on voting, but they have to say it on the outside to get along with their neighbor. I just heard that. It's going to be rock and roll, you guys. I can't wait for November 5th. I'll need me a box of candy and some popcorn. I think Michelle did a fantastic job with her speech, as well as Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. 100 said, on July 29th, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger created a new online portal to request cancellation of voter registrations. Anyone can easily falsely cancel anyone's voter registration. This is not going to happen. I actually see this going before a judge and being told it's illegal. Boy, they're desperate, If they were comfortable in their own shoes and said, let's make this a fair fight, then we'd have something here. But no. This is going to be like overturned. Somebody just showed me a pancake turner. It's going to be overturned. Okay. A lot of people are just saying they love Kamala. Okay, and remember, I told you in my last one that I feel statehood would happen for DC and Puerto Rico. I'm almost feeling like Puerto Rico first, and I don't know why. I'm just gonna tell you what I heard, and then DC, and it might be back to back. Oh, that's really gonna happen. They're gonna have such a good flux of people in Congress and in the Senate. You watch, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. And don't forget, when I was on with Andre, and I said, "Oh, is Josh Hawley gonna win again?" And Andre looked at the polls. He goes, "Yeah, he's like 7 points ahead. It's a slam dunk. He's gonna win." And I was like, "Geez, I don't know why I felt like he wasn't." So I gave him the name of the guy running against Josh, and he came back and wrote me and said, "You know what? Hold what I said." He said, "I just looked up that guy's chart. It's a very good chance he could beat Josh Hawley." Ooh, ooh. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, will the DNC actually bring in more votes? Well, my friend last night, his son likes to keep an eye on, um, uh, what is that? Whenever you give money to a political place, it goes through vote someplace, Act Blue. Apparently their place was crashing. It was crashing so hard because so many people were trying to give money. They have it's just somebody said something about how much, but I'll wait for the official numbers. And you got to believe that Trump was just like overwhelmed with this. That's why he was desperate to get Robert Kennedy. Just step down and say you're with me, and I'll have you talk at one of my events. Like, oh, he's a wonderful. Oh, Steve Miller, you forgot to mention the DNC's not mentioning how our president was almost killed by a little piece of shrapnel that barely buzzed by his ear. And then they had the nerve. 50 people in the GOP wrote a letter, including the fake admiral who got demoted in the Navy, Dr. Feelgood. The only one that wrote that Trump's half of his ear was blown off, and people will believe that. They all signed that Walsh was, fake or a fraud, and 29 of them never even served or something. It was a fraud. 29 of them were fraud. They were so desperate, you guys. They're desperate. Did I see angels or higher beings surrounding the DNC? This is going to sound really weird. I saw John F. Kennedy briefly, psychically. So I couldn't tell if he was there, or if he just walked by my mind sight to say he was there. Gandhi was there, which is a weird thing. I didn't bring this up to anybody, but I saw Gandhi sitting, in the position with the legs crossed and doing some sort of chant. And I just saw him briefly, but he was at the DNC. Oh, is Trump watching the DNC? Oh, hell yeah, he's watching. And it tears him up because they're tearing him up. He needs negative things to say. He's got all these people helping him to say uglies, because that's who he is. He's ugly. Oh, yeah. Gail, the mainstream media, and listen, thank you to whoever told me watch C-SPAN. I told my sister too. She said much better. You watch the thing on C-SPAN. I'm even taping it on C-SPAN. I don't have to look at MSNBC. I don't have to look at any of those people. Katie Turd and the other one, they're getting ready to go. Somebody's telling me, if anybody out there knows anybody about numbers, not political, numbers for like MSNBC, they're saying they're losing viewers, and I'd be curious if that's true. Because I know I used to faithfully watch. I don't watch anymore. Hasn't turned on my TV, not once. But I will watch C-SPAN tonight. Yeah, the mainstream media is saying it's going to be a close race. You guys will be shocked. I just feel shock and awe. I just see bada bing, bada boom. DNC roll call, full of joy and energy. I was a little confused when California said, like present or not present or something. Then they moved on to others. I said, what the hell's California doing? Next thing you know, they wanted to be last because they wanted to show off. And then there's Gavin Newsom, and he had Nancy Pelosi lame, because he's real tall compared to her. But Gavin Newsom was the one that wanted to give the roll call to say, hey, we've got all these, we're giving her 400 and some odd delegates. Secretary Pete's gonna talk? Oh, good. Oh, listen, and again, Catherine, RFK dropping out is a nothing burger. I'm gonna drop out, Trump, and I'm gonna give you my 3 votes. Yeah, okay, so Alfie wants to know, has the timeline changed for Mike Johnson? Will he still leave before the election? Yeah, and by the way, Jorm, the DNC convention has really swayed independents over. The ones who you want swayed are the ones who weren't sure where they're going to vote. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of Republicans. Some of them just watched out of curiosity. And when they're hearing all the things that Project 2025 wants to rid of, how can these people stand there and say, oh, Trump, you are our master, and that's okay, let us live in poverty? Because that's what he would do. Go ahead and take away national land so you can drill, your friends can drill on it or build on it. That's what he was doing. Remember, he did that with the Big Canyon, up there, Utah and Arizona, the something canyon. He was letting people drill on it because he could. That's how ugly he is. Okay. And he'll hurt the indigenous. He will go in just like that Governor Stitt tried to do and try to take lands that belong in treaty to these nations. They're going to try to say, oh, we're gonna dominate domain or something. We're going to take this because this is valuable for America. No, you can't do it. Okay. So let's look at Mike Johnson. Yeah. And even Lindsey Graham came out and said, if Trump brings what he wants to do for America, he could win, which he won't win. But if Trump, the entertainer, keeps up, he won't win. He ain't gonna win, period. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson. I think I was reading with Mel, and we were talking about, would he be stupid enough to cause some sort of chaos with the budget, which would definitely take more votes against them. When Trump said, oh, these federal people don't need this lousy 2-point-something raise, he said no. He gave the rich a big chunk of change and then said the federal people don't need the raise. And then he put everybody on shutdown. So everybody struggled. Yeah, you can blame it on me, he said. But, hello, you could hear the votes dropping. He knows he's trying to be patient, but he knows the jig is up. Okay. There's a lot of women around him. I wonder what that's about. So he's looking at the world, trying to find a new opportunity. I think he knows his days are numbered. He's going to be in trouble for the January 6th. That's getting ready to happen. In fact, mark my words on this. As soon as the Kamala administration is locked in, even if they try to play games, I see Jack Smith doing this, like he's throwing out subpoenas. They will not only get Trump good and real good, they're going to get all his cohorts. They have all the information. Don't forget, they took people's cell phones, including Jenny Thomas. Okay. So I didn't see Rudy at the DNC, but he landed in Chicago O'Hare, so somebody saw him. So I don't know, but I saw him meeting up with others, trying to talk trash behind closed door, like they were coming up with something. Like they were gathering with January 6th. Remember, they would all meet. People were desperate to get Rudy out of the White House. He would go in to talk to Trump to tell him, you won, and I'm going to tell you why. I've got all this evidence. Trump wanted to hear it too. But Trump didn't really care about the evidence. He just wanted to hear it. And I'm almost feeling like they're trying to start up something like this, but it's not going to happen. Roger Stone feels involved. There's some sort of stuff that they're trying to do, but it's not going to work out. That's an interesting question. Because of the Dems' energy. And listen, when I say Taylor Swift and Beyonce, Beyonce might actually perform. Maybe they're not announcing it because they want it to be a big, huge surprise. But Taylor Swift, I see her on the bandwagon with Vice President Kamala. And with, I'm almost seeing her on the bandwagon. I don't know if it's a DNC event, but it's some event. Okay. Might even be the night of when they're, of January 20th. Because of the Dems' energy, will Trump camp cancel the debate? Yeah, it's just right before his eyes. The numbers have doubled. The numbers have doubled, you guys. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. Thank you. Thank you. So would Trump possibly say no? Because I often didn't feel him debating her. Because he wouldn't be able to take over. Because of the influx of positive, would he possibly say no? Does he think he can hurt her? Yeah, he might figure out a way to exit. But look at all these negative cards, you guys. The eight of, he might say he's sick. The 9 of Swords, he put himself in the corner. And here's a little bit of like they might come to a conclusion or work on his behalf with something. By that I mean they might offer him something. She really wants to get in there and debate him. She really does. I love it. How does Biden feel now that the torch is passed? I think he loves her. And I think this was an FU to Nancy Pelosi. Because think about it, if she never wanted her, and then he said, fair enough, I'll step down, but I'm putting my hat in for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, Nancy, for Kamala. That might have just, and then she might have feared that they couldn't win because of Kamala, and that turned around on the drop of a hat. It was bada bing, because all of a sudden, remember, they were announcing Governor Whitmer and all these people they were considering, and she was the one, and it just turned so quickly. Because all of us kind of loved her when she was a senator. Anytime she got to question somebody like Kavanaugh and make him cry and wet his pants. Yeah, I don't know somebody's saying, whose idea was it to have a DJ for the delegate roll call? I don't know, but it sure was cool and it was fun. They started off with Machaca. I feel for you. Yeah. I guess Nancy Sinatra has offered up her song, These Boots Are Made for Walking. But I don't know. Kamala may use it, but it'd be more towards when she's already won. Like, hey, we did it, you guys, and these boots are made for walking. The divine feminine energy is with us. Okay, so also there's terrible, terrible flooding in Japan. There's a big volcano. I posted up on my YouTube community page. A big volcano just took off, I think, in Japan. Another one, as you know, is in Russia. China is underwater. Greece was on fire. So angels of light and mercy. Help me. What do you want me to tell everybody? What do you want me to tell everybody? I always use the word honor. Every time I do this, they use the word honor. Honor yourself and honor others. Try not to be too gleeful about the downfall of this man. He is part of what was supposed to take place, just like Hitler was, as terrible as that sounds. As he goes down, so do the others. But there will always be ugliness. They're going to give Kamala a bad time like they did with Obama because of the color of her skin. But America is way beyond this. These people who come in with prejudice are slowly being burnt out. We're just going to move forward and not even consider them. And, they'll still, how Trump was wanting blue states to pay? Remember New York, he didn't want us to get good machines or masks or anything. Those poor ER doctors and nurses were washing their masks at home and taking them in the next day. I'll never forget that. I have so many masks right now. I accumulated them after the COVID because if anything happens again, I wanted to send a box to an ER of my choice. But we are here with you now. Ye of little faith. The prophecies that were given are coming to pass. I just want humans to know that as you feared, we created more of the same. We kept telling you, try not to fear, but it takes time for things to roll over. And we can't tell you the time, but we can tell you that the time is coming for a new beginning. And there'll always be bad actors. But there's a lot of protection going on. There's a lot of protection from the ETs and as well as the angelic forms. Be proud of yourselves, and be proud of the love you feel for the Harris-Walz administration. They will do much good for this country and make it stronger. And also, in this administration, there will be something that takes place that could be a bit of a heartache. Maybe a natural phenomenon. But I see them coming through with flying colors. Be in the love. Know that you are loved. You are never alone. And you have helped your children or your nieces and nephews, or you've helped the children of the world and their children for a better universe. Because I even see, like they were saying, China's gone through some Armageddon stuff due to climate change. So it's almost like I see, and also China is turning the youth of China. They're starting to protest that they don't want to use their whole life for their job like their parents did. They're saying, no, we don't want to do this. So things will be changing. Work hours are even going to change unless you work like I did as a nurse or something. But teachers are going to be treated so much better. We're going to have more money to spend. I don't know why I got that. All of you will have more money to spend. By the way, my son saw that Alien, the new movie. He said it was one of the best. I haven't seen it yet. I gotta go see it. Okay. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett and AOC, they got numbers, girl. They're going to be in the administration. I don't know what they're going to do or what. I see them beyond Congress. I see them really doing something. One of them might be a governor, actually. I just got that hit. I love it. Barack's talking about, and you know, Michelle and Barack were so decent. They let him in the White House. They showed him around. They gave him a gift. He wrote the letter. And Trump acted like, oh, they were just in Melania. They were kind to Melania. And then he just turned around and stabbed him right in the back. And then when poor President Biden got in, they didn't even, you know, he locked the White House, I heard, but I'm sure there's other people that had keys. But they barely let them in. They barely gave them the information they needed to change the administration. They just moved. He really thought he wasn't going to leave. But that part, I just was sorry that Biden wouldn't be able to have the part where he has the big event and everybody's happy. It doesn't have that lower life energy of Trump throwing that January 6th thing. You know, Judy, somebody's saying, what's the beef between Pelosi and Kamala? Well, again, the only thing I can tell you, because I'm not in the middle of it and I don't have any inside information, but she did say, she was talking to somebody. Pelosi said she did work with the other person that was running against Kamala for district attorney, but Kamala won. And Kamala sort of came out of the blue. So Kamala won, maybe she was mad. Maybe, you know, maybe Kamala was like pissed off that Pelosi, but I see them making amends when she became a senator. I see them exchanging niceties. I don't know. There's just something, I can't tell you what it is. It doesn't seem to be on policy. Oh, thank you. So apparently somebody told Kamala, maybe it was even Biden, that that she had come to him and said, who are you going to choose for your VP? Because we think you have a better chance of winning if she's not the VP. And I love Biden for that. He said, what the F? Get out of my room. No, I'm not going to change her. And then that slam, that stab was, you know, they were going to try to do this at the convention. Oh, let's see who else we can put in. Nope. And she got such a roaring. Everybody was so happy about her, they wouldn't dare try to bring up somebody else. That's all I can tell you. Will we eventually know? Yes. They just told me we'll eventually find out. I see Pelosi kind of stepping down whenever her next term comes up. You know, they like to stay in there till 100. Poor Senator Feinstein. You know, and she plugged Senator Feinstein, said, just stay in, stay in. That lady needed to be home in her bed. So anyway, okay, you guys, so I'm going to leave it from here. I'll probably be coming on a lot more doing this before I have my face done next Monday. And then this Sunday, I'm going to be with, in fact, thanks for reminding me, I'm going to be with Sterling. I'm going to send a link. Okay, I love you all. I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.